My name is Vinny Golia. Um, I'm involved in music mostly, but also visual art. I write a lot of music that people don't often hear. I work in music for film, theater, dance, spoken word, etc., etc. And basically, I play a lot of improvised music, but I compose a lot also. I have two smaller groups, quintets, a quintet and a sextet and a trio. And I also write for large groups. Right now, I'm finishing a piece for orchestra and improvising soloists, so full orchestra. Basically, I knew I had to have an end project, so I wanted to first start with objects found in nature. So I broke the class into smaller groups, like 4 groups, and I wanted to have a representation from each discipline in each group. And the first assignment was to find find objects in nature. Each person in the group would find an object that they were drawn to, and then come back to the class and present and what it was about those particular objects that struck them. The second class was to create a storyline about these objects. And then we formed into more permanent groups. Next class was to create some music for the story that they'd created. Oh, before we go further, then the other class had to, of each group having the number of people with a different object, they had to come together on one object. And the purpose of this was to work on how people collaborate in larger groups. Like usually there are interpersonal conflicts or maybe different artistic points of view. That's almost the same thing, but not quite. And things like that. And then they would present the one object which would be indicative of that group. And from that, we decided to form categories. There was an abstract group, an industrial group, a farm group, and an instrumental group. And then the next classes were to develop storylines with music. So everyone had to create graphic score. So each person in the group created a graphic score. After that, then we were to pick how we were going to put the scores together to form one piece of cohesive music for each group. And then we had to figure out how each group was going to make one timeline of music all the way through. So you can see it gets more and more complicated, which creates the more of the interaction between not only one group but all 4 groups. And then the last projects were to put the storyline with the music, and if there was going to be a performance element. So there was going to be a performance element for each group. And so we worked on then putting the graphic scores together with the actual performance and the objects. And that was the end result was a presentation that we did last night. Well, right now it's like a blur because I've been busy every day. I haven't seen anything of Korea at all except the school and various studios and recording places and that. But the one thing I will remember is the warmth of all the people who I was involved with. Everybody was very, 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 very nice and very giving of their time and took time to explain things, and that was pretty cool. The musicianship overall was very good. That was fun. That kind of sparked my creative juices. I really liked I've been a fan of Korean music, but it's nicer to actually sit in a room with Korean musicians and play, and hear the traditional instruments and improvise with them and do different things, w- to enhance your own music. So that's been really, really fun, So I have really overall fond. I'll bring back like a fond memory and a desire to come back and do more. Well, final thought would mean I'm dead, so that would be my final. That would be my final thought. Oh no! But yeah, I hope they ask me to come back. That's my final thought, and do some more. This is a lot of fun for me. I had a really good time. I got to play quite a bit, and matter of fact, we're recording tonight in a couple hours after this. So yeah, my final thought is I'd like to see more, and maybe see some of the temples next time, and yeah, and hear some of the music in its natural setting. Yeah, that would be my thought for the next time I come. Yeah.